Let's start. And I don't actually know what you can or can't see, so this is new, right? Forgive me. I'm going to have to learn how to manage this. So we've got 10 of Swords, sadness, then Ace of Swords, breakthrough. All right. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. That's 11 to start. We see the ending. We see the new beginning. Queen of Cups. It's another one. Fresh starts. This is the, I think, what, the second person? Have we seen someone floating through the air or something like this? All right. Freedom. Cups and swords together. Handling the conflict in our relationships. What else? Oh, and then the number 2. Hard choices. 2 of Pentacles. Is this centered? I'm used to holding it in a different place. I'm sorry. Here we go. We getting there, Grace? You bear with me. This is my first time ever doing this angle, and I don't know what's happening. All right. So, okay. And I'm wondering if there's a part of the divine masculine who's believing, hey, that hard decision that I have to make that I'm kind of in the middle about, I'm going to have to choose between love and power. And it's like, no, you don't. You do not have to choose. You're just telling yourself that because that's what it's always been. But you have to give this season a breakthrough. And boom, we start this reading off. Okay, Grace, this is going to be a challenge, guys. I have no idea where to put this, but I think this is right. We start this reading off with divine intervention, with like this countdown energy, with this multiplicity, this 3 times 2 is 6, this really powerful start coming in and saying the relationship will prevail. The connection doesn't go anywhere just because separation is present or feels like it's present. Separation is a myth, but that is such a convoluted statement at this point that it's like, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. But you should. You should ask yourself why you're still here when things have been tough. You should ask yourself, why are you here when this is the only thing in your life that seems to be taking extra time? Everything else is together. There's a reason for it all. And I believe that reason is we are destined, fated to be together. There is an addictive quality. I need the first white card. I'm taking all these as clarifiers in this reading. 5 of Wands, conflict. This is 11 together. And I think that this is what must be fixed. This conflict between us is what is shifting because there's no longer this immaturity where the love stands. Addiction, completion, seeing in color, being held, feeling comforted and safe. These are the things that the divine masculine collective craves, has always wanted, enjoyed with many of their divine feminine counterparts, but was always still also very afraid to give in to that level of vulnerability, especially because they convinced themselves, other people had convinced them that without that power, they're never going to be able to achieve what they want to achieve. It's all lies. It's all nonsense. But okay, I want to get started. We're going to pull a lot of cards. I'm not taking these black cards tonight other than as a clarifier. So if you see me trying to get extra cards, that's why. I want one more. What do we need to know here? No, too many. Oy vey. One more. There we go. Okay. All right. So, and we'll take that as our clarifier. Okay. We got black on the top? Nope. Perfect. All right. So, what we're going to start with is I want to just check in with Divine Masculine. I'd like to understand where they're at right now. Okay. So, overall, what is it that we need to know about the Divine Masculine? Bringing it right back to the beginning. The first card we see is the Ten of Swords, is sadness, is that ego death. We saw the conflict in the Five of Wands come out and say, look, the reason why I don't give in to the feelings I have towards you is because there's so much internal conflict. There's that cognitive dissonance. I'm always confused. I don't really know what I want because I don't trust myself. And so now we see this kind of admission of guilt, this recognition of a flawed plan. And I think a lot of things have been breaking down in Divine Masculine's life. I'm going to tell you, the last month and a half has probably been really, really hard for them, okay? Unless you've got some DM that is like a guru or whatever, if they're just like an average Joe type Divine Masculine, they have been through it. And don't believe everything you see on social media. Because, honey, I don't even post my failures on social media. I might share some stuff here and there with you guys, but I'm not out there trying to be like, look at me, I'm the worst. No, don't believe what you're seeing. Because I know there's a bunch of people who've been coming out saying, I finally talked to my person and they are not okay. I thought they were fine. I thought they were happy. They're not okay. So Divine Masculine dealing with deep sadness at this time. And now, once again, we started with the 10 of Swords. Then we saw the Ace of Swords. Then the next card was the Ace of Cups. And now we're seeing the 10 of Swords with the Ace of Pentacles. This is huge. And this is exactly what we need to know and a good visual for what is happening in this season. For the last 2 weeks, people have been booking calls with me, sending emails, asking in comments about April 8th, like what's gonna happen on that day. And because everyone's curious, and I'm like, well, I'm only certain of the spiritual component. I cannot tell you if there's gonna be. So people have been sending me all the astrology videos. There's the tropical, the Vedic. They're sending me everything. They're sending me Christian prophecy videos. They're sending me all kinds of stuff like, Grace, check this out. Look at this. Do you think it's this? And what I found very interesting is that I don't really follow astrology. It's just, I'm not into it. So I don't know. I know it enough to help you guys to kind of keep up with things. And I had no idea how many astrologers are talking about April 8th. This one lady, I can't remember. She's pretty popular, but I can't remember her name. But I saw like a recommended video under the video somebody had sent me, said something about the next 10 years being some of the greatest in our generation. I've been telling you guys that for so long, but it's like, I guess I didn't have the proof to back it, and maybe I need to go get the astrology to try to back the New Age prophecy a bit more. I don't know. I feel like that kind of creates biases, right? But there's something here that says this is what you need to know. The last 7 years for twin flames in particular have been all about swords, conflict, tearing down old powers, old principalities, old dominions, and starting fresh, starting over, but not necessarily having to start from scratch. Okay? And this abundance with the heart in it. And then remember the ace of, no, you know what? It wasn't an Ace of Cups. It was the Queen of Cups. But it's so funny because her cup stands out so much to me. Go back. Ace of Swords with the Queen of Cups both looked like someone kind of floating through the air or something like breakthrough, some sort of spiritual power flowing through. And then the Ace of Pentacles, which is we typically think about as financial or, tangible, has this love. And I often tell people, look at the Ace of Pentacles in the Rider-Waite, and there's a tunnel of love in the background. And I always talk about how pentacles and love always go together. I don't know why people think it's only one thing. It's only like that. It's only true for cold-hearted people. But for true abundance to exist, love is always there. It's like, no, it just goes. So to see this is actually like this really perfect transition period from where we've been to where we're headed. And where we're headed is a season of abundance like no other. A lot of people are very worried about what comes on April 8th. They're saying, Grace, oh my goodness. I think at least 4 or 5 of my calls last week where people saying, I don't know if my divine masculine is going to make it through the portal. And I'm like, well, first of all, the April 8th is about a timeline closing off. So it's not necessarily, they don't have a choice. If they're truly a divine masculine, they're going through it. Because it's more of a door from one to another. So I'm really glad that I've had those conversations to understand where the collective is. And this, to me, is such a beautiful representation of the door we're going to walk through on April 8th. The door that, once it's closed, we can never go back. We can never go back to the way it used to be. So what do we need to understand? Even though the divine masculine is feeling sadness, what we're missing is that there is this new level of abundance coming through and a new hope. And yes, they're in the dark right now. They're not really certain what comes next, but they are approaching new light. They're approaching a place where it's always light, it's always day. So what do we need to understand in order to really fathom where they're at in this time? First, the world completion. So we have 10 and we have 21. Minor arcana completion, major arcana completion. This to me is another symbol of that completion of the last 7 years. Now, the 7-year cycle technically ended in December. On the 31st of 2023, the 7-year cycle of swords was officially over. But just like we know we're in the, Mercury retrograde shadow at certain points before or after, or eclipse shadow before or after, there is a shadow to everything, right? And so the 8th happens to be a very important date beyond the eclipses, but the eclipse is kind of like see, this is where I can't explain it because it's so spiritual. I'm trying to show you what I'm seeing, and I'm seeing this opening up of energies, and then there's things coming through, there's things going through, and then a closing. Permanent though. And I think it's very interesting that we needed that extra oomph to close out the cycle of swords. The cycle of swords wanted to hold on. It didn't want to let us go. And so now we see completion, the world card, major and minor completion. But this is telling us something, a season of enlightenment. This is a new understanding of who they are in this place. And it might be saying now that they understand who they were in the world they were existing in, they'll really be able to understand who they are in the world of light and love. And what do we need to know about this? All I need is a hug and you in my bed. This to me is one of the more truthful divine masculine energies that comes through that says, honestly, I don't want anything. I just want to be with you right now. I need to find an excuse to talk to you. I need to find an excuse to call or connect. I have to ask you something. I have to find a reason for us to be able to see each other just so I can hold you. You can hold me. This to me is one of the clearer signs that a divine masculine is growing. Even if they haven't reached this state of completion, I do have to admit that they can kind of show us they're growing through those moments. So if you've ever had a weird moment where you were ghosted after, absolutely. But they came in, maybe they didn't even want to, get it in, but they just wanted to hug you. They just wanted to sit in your presence. They just wanted to have a drink. They just wanted to have a smoke. Whatever it is, they just wanted to be around you. And you didn't talk to them again, but there was something sweet, something odd about that meeting. Those are the meetings that are letting you know they're starting to kind of, the wall that they've built up about being loved is crumbling. So we've got sadness fading away with the dark night. And many of you see, I don't really share stuff with the collective sometimes because there's so many opinions and there's so much judgment, but this is sitting in front of me and I just feel like I have to show it. So many of you think that the dark night of the soul happens in the lower part of the divine spectrum as we reach our divine peaks. But that's not true. The dark night of the soul typically happens just 1 or 2 stages before we reach this enlightenment. So I think what this is trying to tell us right now is the divine masculine, they are closer than they've ever been. This is why this is such a huge season for reunions, because for those divine masculines who are meant to come together, this energy is going to push them in that direction. So how are they feeling right now about their divine feminine? in this sadness. Woo! To see that the sadness is directly related to the twin flame energy makes me feel like overwhelming. Like I feel like, wait, wow. In your pain, in your sadness, the one thing that you're certain of, the one thing that you're sure of is this, that this person is your twin flame, that your purpose is ascension. To see that with this enlightenment energy, this completion, the job well done, you've done it, you've reached the end, you've reached the goal. To see that the first thing that they're thinking is, I'm sad, I'm really devastated at what I realize life is. That's awakening. Has, if I asked you, what is the one thing that you were the most overwhelmed with sadness by? What did you learn? I can't think of mine because I think mine was so long ago, but I remember seeing Mr. Lightworks and realizing we all have a misconception about ascension, and his was, and it was my fault. I spoke so much about the good stuff, about being in the spiritual space, that I left out the fact that you're still human. And I think I made it sound like I didn't mean to. I was just so excited and so happy. And I was finally manifesting. There was so much that was going on. And he tried. He decided to believe. He decided to give in to the idea that maybe there's more to life than what he could see and touch. And he fell hard because he wasn't expecting to. It's like me telling you, go take the leap off that cliff. Everyone's doing it. But what I fail to mention is most people slap that water real hard when they get down there. And it's not really a fun or good feeling. It's usually just a joke we play on new kids. Like that's kind of what I did, not even knowing. What was the one thing you realized as you ascended that really broke you, that you had to process? For a lot of people, it's that abundance isn't what they think it is. There's all kinds of stuff. I think the divine masculine is going through a deep, sad, overwhelmingly just no kind of moment. But also seeing you just in the distance and thinking it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. Please like this video. I have a feeling that this is a really important message. We're just, guys, we're right on the edge of something so big. So I just really want to make sure these messages are getting out to people. People are watching Mr. Lightworks love letters, and I'm so glad that people are blessed by that. I also hope that people will get the important information that they need as much as they're getting that fill up from hearing a channeling from their person. This is so important. So feeling about the divine feminine, ascension, twin flame, 1111. This is where I'm supposed to be. It doesn't matter how sad I am. And ego death is what allowed that. There's emerging. There's a new integration. What is the divine masculine downloading right now? Focus. 8 of Pentacles. This is an idea of, I don't want to say reaching perfection, but striving for it, aiming for it. This to me says divine masculine is no longer just wandering to and fro. There is a sense of purpose and direction that is pulling them. I don't know if they're running towards it just yet, right? The energy so far is kind of getting up after, well, 10 of Swords. Think about the 10 of Swords and that person trying to kind of get up slowly but surely, figuring out how the heck to get those swords out of their back, that kind of thing. So there's something where there's like I'm coming to, there's a rising of even a phoenix from the ashes energy, but is there forward momentum? So this tells me whatever has happened in the past month and a half that I told you, it burned them. It was overwhelming. It took them out in a way. But it brought them this new tunnel vision in, I think, the right direction. What is that direction? What is the right direction for divine masculines right now? 9 of Pentacles. independent. To me, this is not necessarily accurate to the reading. The Nine of Pentacles is, though. I've talked about the fact that the divine masculines go into the reunion dynamic typically having nothing. Okay? And that is not something that in the new age is very popular amongst some divine feminines. A lot of divine feminines don't really care. But again, it's not a popular thing. What is it called? Hypergamy? Whatever that's called is more the thing now. So to have a divine, especially a divine masculine, we're talking about abundance, grace. Why don't they have anything? Why aren't they coming in? Well, the answer is here. They could only bring what they could carry. They've been burned. I think everything they knew has completely been destroyed. And you can see this focus 8 of Pentacles energy where they're working and they're trying to create this perfect thing. Why? So that when they bring it in to a life that, frankly, has been quite beautiful without them. We don't need you, divine masculine. You're okay. We're all right here. But, you know, this life that we live without them, we've learned that we don't need them. We've learned that this is not going to be something where we become dependent upon them. And so it's almost perfect in a way. Many of us either have a vision of what our perfect life is going to look like and we're working towards it and we kind of almost are already there through that manifestation process, or there's others that they're there. And you might think perfection means what to you, like what it means to you, but my idea of perfection and yours are not the same. It's about what a beautiful life looks like to us. So imagine we spend all our time while we're in separation, as we're ascending, kind of getting our shit together. What could the DM really bring anyways that we actually needed? Again, if you're still in a place where you're looking at your divine reunion as an opportunity to have, 2 incomes and get yourself out of a financial situation, just be aware that divine may not let you have that until you're on your feet. And it's not, I'm not going to go down there. If you want me to talk about that one day, I'll talk about it. But I'm just warning you right now. So there are a large percentage of the divine feminine collective, though, that are in that 9 of Pentacles space. They are finding the magic. They're living the life. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect, but it's perfect for them. They're finding their peace, whether it's the soft life or being strong, whatever. So for the divine masculine to be coming in, kind of zeroing in, and I have been seeing owls everywhere. I wonder if I'm going to get a message now. I think what this is telling us is they needed to come to terms with the fact that this was what it was going to be. They were going to come in and they might not have a lot to offer. And where we think some of the divine feminines have a problem with that, all of the divine masculines have a problem with that. There's a very small subset of divine masculines who isn't going to come in with nothing. Now, again, you might have a divine masculine where if you guys are older, you're more established already in your lives, they're not technically coming with nothing, right? But maybe that person is coming out of a, divorce situation, that kind of thing, where for them, it feels like nothing. And because they're splitting their income and dealing with lawyers or whatever, now they're having to not be able to do as much with you. And so it is limiting to what it could be, right? So again, it's all relative, I guess. But if you can tell yourself, I don't care what nothing means. As long as they are willing to try, they've got love for me, and they see what we're doing is building together. Most divine feminines feel the same way as I do. Let's build the empire from scratch then. I'm down. So what's amazing is, why would we need the divine masculine's pentacle? Why don't we already have the 10 of Pentacles? Why does the divine feminine always sit in 9 of Pentacles luxury? A beautiful life, something very wonderful, worth living, but for some reason, not the 10. Not that next level of like spiritual abundance that can really only happen with that love, that divine partnership I mentioned earlier. Why? Because when the divine masculine brings this one pentacle, it's not just going to complete the set, then it's just another pentacle. The one pentacle they're bringing is the pentacle that divine separated y'all in the first place for. Whoa, Grace, what are you talking about? Before you came here, divine knew that in order for you two to have the abundant life in your twin flame awakened dynamic, you would both need to be able to acquire certain things. So rather than having one person come down and just have all the abundance, they sent two people down because it's a two-person job. And divine feminine, you were meant to gather all the different things, all this different stuff. But divine masculine was meant to bring the seed or the key or the plug or whatever it is that makes what you have go and expand beyond. They have the other piece. So it's not nothing. It's not one thing. That's why so many of us, me included, don't get in your feelings about this, demand a divine companion. Because we just know for some reason we're better with someone. And not just anyone, with someone specific. With a specific set of behaviors and skills and knowledge and a heart that just connects with ours. We just know we are amazing on our own, but we are expansive in that space. That desire was put in you before you ever were born. So let me tell you, don't look at this little thing that they're bringing, this nothing. One pentacle. What is one pentacle to somebody with 9 pentacles? Well, what is a good idea to a billionaire? Maybe billions. Okay? I want you to think about something. If the divine masculine can come in to your space and expand it, but it appears like they're going to bring nothing, just take a second look and ask yourself, well, then why did I want to be with you this whole time? And you'll have your answer. You'll see the truth. Okay, so what's being integrated is divine partnership, divine focus on the divine feminine counterpart, the divine masculine purpose, and what it all means to them. What is the hardest part about this right now? Now it's funny. I was going to mention the chariot, and we have 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11. The reason I was going to mention the chariot is because the chariot in the Rider-Waite is a beautiful card to look at if you're trying to figure out what does it look like when I'm in the heavenly realm and we're one, but then down here we're two. What does that even mean? Well, look at the top of the chariot where the guy's face is, right? And then the bottom of the chariot has the 2 sphinxes. And in most Rider-Waite decks, the guy up here, his eyes are gone. They're blacked out. You can't see any eyes, or they're closed. And then down here, the sphinxes have remarkably human eyes. And that is what it's like. In the heavenly realm, up in the heavens, you are in your unified being. The yin and yang pop together. And down here, you're popped apart. And it's not in a way that means half and half. It is in a way that allows 2 complete wholes to operate in a oneness, in a dance that is sacred. So to see the chariot show up for me is important because I just saw that card. But to see the chariot show up where we say, what is the divine masculine dealing with? What's the hardest part? And I said earlier, I can't tell if the divine masculine has started to move forward or if they're in that phoenix rising. I think this is confusing. How do I move forward? How do I do this? I know what I need to do. I see where I need to go. This tells us they don't know that they have a key, which means you need to hear that message so that when they come with whatever it is that they have and they say to you, I'm sorry, I have nothing to give. But you've already started to see the 10 of Pentacles magic, spirit of life, tree of life energy just floating, just orbs in the sky types, like crazy vibes. You'll know, oh, they're here and they brought the key with them. What's the key? I don't know. I think you need to ask yourself that question. What is it that your divine masculine has that's worth waiting for? If you can answer that, you'll understand where they're struggling because they don't quite understand what they have. But the other side of this says it is the going forward instead of going back. They feel called forward and back, okay? They're not sure if they should be handling business from the past or not, which says there is such a conviction and a repentance on them right now. They feel like they need to fix something before they can go forward. Very common for divine masculines to be that way. But for me, seeing this 8, 9, 7, 10, 9, 8, 7, 11, that there's something about this that says that's a part of the process. They're not going back. But they're working through it, okay? That says that the bumpy ride of the chariot for the divine masculine is most likely going to be related to their own behavior, their own inability to trust themselves, them not realizing that if you're a charioteer, that's the only way you could have been given this chariot that you're riding right now. So I don't know why you're so confused about what's going on. You trained for this. This is everything you've ever wanted. You know, there's something that happens where they forget that for a moment when they first take off. And I think that it's being driven by this confusion and this need to come in hot, to come in and let you know what's going on, but also this feeling like maybe they need to slow down. Maybe they need to figure things out. They're working through it. I actually like this. I like this. This is not me just running to the same path. I will warn you, some divine masculines in the past have done this thing. And so there's a chance, but I think that's actually what the last few months was trying to kind of shake out of them a little bit. Some divine masculines will receive new information, new blessings, new gifts, awareness of gifts that they've got, whatever. And then they will turn around and they will run back to the same old plan they had. So if they had a goal of becoming a billionaire by the time they're 30 and they're already 31 and they don't even have $1,000, then what's going to happen is they're going to take everything that's just, whether they learned it in the relationship with you, whether they learned it through a lesson with a karmic, whether they found it in a dream. And initially, the first thing they're going to do is go and try to go back to the same plan that they've been working on that's never going to work and say, I finally found the magic. So I think they do understand the idea of, having a key to use. But what we need to see is that these divine masculines are not going to be able to do that this time. Divine's not going to let them kind of run rampant as it has been. So this card, it's interesting because to me, it's also feeling like that sense of the waiting before you can go, the apprehension before it's time to jump into action. It's like right there, but they just don't know what that's going to go towards. They don't know where that energy, all that energy that's being built up is supposed to be applied to. So there's just working through it. Again, I like to see it because it says that they're no longer going to do what they always did, which was immediately turn and go back to their plan. They're thinking it through. They're processing. So this is like, this to me is the process of them being pulled backwards and then thrust forward and then really trying not to just they're trying to walk forward, but gravity is just pulling them down, trying to get them to go back to the past. So this could also be representing other people trying to get in their path, get in their way. But I think that this major arcana energy tells us they will overcome it. The divine intervention energy that we've been getting, by the way, points me back to this world energy, this completion energy, and says, don't worry, they've learned what they needed to learn. The last 7 years have a direct effect and impact on the next 7 years, and it's going to be a positive thing. Because if they're a true divine masculine, all you have to remember is you're not the only one on the journey. A true divine masculine has a true divine feminine. If you are divine feminine, then you have a true divine masculine. So any thoughts that you have that they're 77 steps behind you on the journey, well, honey, then where are you? You're 77 steps behind where you think you are. That's just, they can't be that far back is all I'm trying to say. They might be, if we're talking about like stair step levels, they might be on this part of the step and maybe you're here about to climb up. And maybe even I'll give you even like one step back where they're like dangling off the new step, but they're not that far behind you. And it's going to be very important for us to start to remember that we're being duped ourselves, tricked ourselves, trapped in the past ourselves by people who don't wish us well, by people who don't want us to come into union, by people who appreciate and enjoy the not so enjoyable stuff about separation a little bit too much and seem to focus on it so much but forget what we're working towards. Don't let them affect your relationship anymore. Get very clear about where you're headed and who your divine masculine is and what twin flames is to you. So, what is it that we have not considered about this season for the divine masculine? The chaos. Okay, now see, we have 7 and then we have 16. This is very interesting. I'm sorry, but I'm getting a download for myself because this is actually, in a sense, this is like my birthday. Like literally all the way through. Focus on what? The Tower, the Chariot. I think what we haven't considered is how much of this chaos was actually by the divine masculine. If I'm being honest, I think that what we're finding out is that their life has been in this state of upheaval. But what we're not acknowledging is the fact that the divine masculine, being the self-fulfilling prophecy that they are, just walking, talking, self-fulfilling prophecy, being the master of their own mayhem, being the self-deprecating, you know how your divine masculines can be sometimes. A lot of this was actually brought about by them. Ah ha 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 ha. And that, oh my gosh. Do you guys remember about 6 months ago? Oh, and that perfectly lines up with these eclipses. This is insane. About 6 months ago, I started to tell you guys, man, I keep getting this really weird energy that the divine masculines are kind of slithering through a karmic situation right now. They're making the people in their life, and what did I say at the beginning? Don't believe everything you see on social media. They're making the people in their life think they're moving one direction. Meanwhile, they're doing everything they can to go this way. It is like the woman who's preparing to leave her husband, so she starts to store money up in the laundry room, in the box of what are those called? Dryer sheets. She's just storing up cash in there. Just, he keeps saying, he keeps doing, he keeps haha kiki. Okay, I got something for that. And one day she's just gone, vanished. Okay, that is what the divine masculines have been doing. They have been deceiving the deceptors. Decepticons. Okay. Whoo, Grace. What? Hold on, what is the message? Okay, I have to do something. I have to look up this number and ask what does 88 symbolize spiritually? Wow. Okay. I'm sorry, but I'm getting this message. Oh my goodness, throat chakra, hold on. Unbalanced throat chakra. Difficult for energy to flow. Difficult for energy to flow what? 88 is regeneration and resurrection. Revival and restoration of life. What is being restored as divine masculine set their own life on fire? Oh, purification. What is being restored? Oh my gosh, that's so amazing. You guys, the Three of Pentacles, the team. And it's funny because I always show people the Three of Pentacles, dude. There's only like 1 or 2 decks that really show a solid image. I can't remember what that, I think it's called the Wisdom Manifest deck. One of our tribe members created, was a really good image. The team coming together, even down to team like communication. Coming. Whoa. Hold on, guys. I think I need to just drink water because I'm thinking about. The problem is my water is cold, so if this is a tickle in my throat because of the cold air blowing in my throat, then how is that going to help, Grace? The thing is, when we think about the image of the team coming together, and we think about communing, and we think about the community, we think about the divine masculine running away, refusing to communicate, refusing to build, refusing to participate in that teamwork that was required for all of us to actually be able to get somewhere in life. Again, I made a comment earlier about twin flame reunion not necessarily being about life getting easier because now there's two of you, but at the same time, let's be real, that is kind of the point though for the grand scheme. Maybe not in the 3D, but in the 5D. So the divine masculine refusing to be a team player and to commit to divine partnership, that was what was stopping them from being resurrected. And what we have to know now is that there is this restoration coming through because they're choosing to be restored. And that means that the team is a part of the restoration, that coming into union is a part of what makes them whole. So even though we are whole within ourselves, there is something, I'm trying to think of an image because I just saw it. I don't know why, but I just saw it. And now my mind shifted really fast to something else. I saw something put together. Now I'm seeing Russian nesting dolls where it's like, technically it's one toy, but there's maybe 5 dolls nested in, right? And then I saw a team where it was like, maybe there's however many people, 5 men on the court, or what is it, 11 men on the field, but then there's the whole 53-man team. Do you see there's something that says it is possible to be whole and also to be completed further. But there's something about that feels, like I'm supposed to define what that is. It's like fulfillment. Oh, I can't, this is crazy. Okay, all right. So we got our first little bit of energy and information. Let's pull this aside really quick. I just want to get a few cards about what this eclipse energy, what we need to know. Where'd we go? What is the most important thing Divine Feminine needs to know during this eclipse? Okay. So I was going to talk about the Knight of Wands when I was talking about the chariot energy. Why? I thought about it in my head and I said it was very common. I think I was talking about the restlessness and the divine masculine going and using all the information they just received for the wrong stuff. And that they're not going to do that anymore, that they're not going to be able to go on these reckless adventures, that everything they're doing now is what we're supposed to be doing. So the one thing we need to understand is this new season is going to feel much more like an adventure than the last season did. The last season for some might have felt like punishment, might have felt like boarding school, might have felt like just full on hermit mode with no end. This is different. This new season starting right now. These fated events that are about to occur are taking you on the adventure of your lifetime, the adventure you've been craving. But if you associate it with them having to be by your side, you will miss it. So that means you have to start doing these things on your own. Do what feels natural. If you feel like pulling off on the side of the road to go and safely, go look at the water, pull over and look at the water. If you feel the urge to sit in your car for lunch and just listen to music, go sit in your car. Like whatever you feel like is going to make your life just feel different, not the same old thing for so many weeks, months, years. Do it. Because it's going to make a huge impact on how you feel. And the day your divine masculine comes in, the day that they finally say, hey, I'm ready, I want to do this with you. If you are not where you're supposed to be, I cannot reiterate this enough about this new season. This new season is marked by an ending of this 10 of Swords energy. Divine masculine now recognizes that thinking like that, being in that negative space is toxic to them. So they are going to be making a much more concerted effort to stay away from karmic energy. If you have wrapped yourself up in their karma, like the Five of Cups, kind of covered yourself in the cloak of death and heaviness, and they have now become restored, purified, they're moving forward, and they come and meet you in their old energy, whether they know that's what's happening or not, whether you know that's what's happening or not, they're going to walk away. They're going to think, man, this whole time I was moving towards this person. I thought they were the one, but I guess I know now's the time for me. And I know that's messed up because some of you are like, really? It's been the time for me for a while. Yeah, but you're not the divine masculine. The first awakened does not get to determine where we're going. The second awakened is often the true leader. It takes a little while for them to step into it, but unfortunately it's true. I say unfortunately because I'm a first awakened and I'd rather be the leader, but you know, it is what it is. So do not allow yourself to become distracted by the lies or deception or even just the misunderstandings that you might have been hearing over the past weeks, months, and years that you've been studying the twin flame concept and the sacred partnership. Now you know. The divine masculines are in a new space and mentally they are in the light. So they're seeking light. And it's messed up that they would kind of drape us with that veil of darkness and then leave us with it. Talking about, oh, blindfold yourself and make yourself look pretty. I'll be back. So you throw it over yourself, not knowing that's what it is, this cloak of darkness. And they just never fucking came back. It's like, what the fuck? It's like, you can't allow them to screw this up, because that's what it would be. You letting their energy get to you, therefore they f this up. So don't let them. Get yourself right. It is critical. All right. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Healing. Healing. Grab your sword of truth. It is time for us to move on from where we've been. We have been dealing with so much heartache and so much pain that most of our divine masculines were the ones who were causing it. Not dealing with their stuff, not dealing with their own trauma. We've got to make sure there's nothing left. Now, if there's stuff we can only heal with them, that's one thing. But we got to make sure there's nothing left for us to deal with so we can show them the proper way to heal. Why is this so important? Because we are going to be the one imparting spiritual wisdom upon them until they are prepared for that divine union and stepping into the new space to being the divine leader in the relationship. All right. What is the most challenging part of this energy for the divine feminine collective? Like on purpose, what is being made to feel like a challenge? This is so wild because the 10 of Pentacles comes out. So now Divine Feminine starting off with 11. 10 and 1. 10 and 1. Ending, beginning. You guys, it's right in front of us. With the Divine Feminine, the challenge has been wealth. The challenge has been that abundance. And not just any abundance, but 10 of Pentacles abundance. You've had 9 of Pentacles. You've had the ability to stand on your own, to be independent. You've been the pretty hermit. You've been killing it. And yet, for some reason, there was just, it's very interesting. So over here, the 8 of Pentacles, we have the divine masculine kind of working on each pentacle, right? And in the 8 of Pentacles in the Rider-Waite, he's working on the last one that's in front of him. But I think it's actually the one underneath him on the floor that he like forgot about. That's the secret like key, right? So we have this focus was sent down and given to the divine masculine, and it's like Tinkerbell. And then we have over here another like a purified Tinkerbell energy coming in. So I really do feel like all of this is so connected. Like the divine masculine is entering into a new space, a new dimension. That's that timeline closing off. And the divine feminine has been struggling with the wealth, not because you're not enough or no, just because your divine masculine has the other side. Don't worry. You've probably reached more of your goals than they have. Like, don't get me wrong, but still, this level of abundance where you can be people's fairy godmother, that urge that you have to help people and bless people and just make people's lives easier around you, that is what you've been missing. That's the challenge that's been given to you. That's where a lot of you are like, look, man, my person needs to come in because if we were together, I would be able to help more people. I just know it. And I believe you're right about that. You're 100% correct. What are we missing about this? Oh, it's bringing us back to the hard choices. The divine masculine has to pick a pentacle. Now, here's what's interesting. I just talked about the Eight of Pentacles and how he's working on one, kind of etching away at it, but there's one underneath his feet. I think that in a second, the divine masculine is going to stand up. They're going to look at the pentacle they're working on, and they're going to see that glimmer, and they're going to look down and be like, what? And they're going to pick up the other pentacle, and they're going to go, wait a minute, these are both really good. Oh, man, how do I pick? And they're going to stare at them. And I think that's what we need to understand is that we have been stuck because we were not meant to get past this point without them when it comes to the wealth, but that does not mean that we are limited to this current abundance. All right. I want those of you who have a bad relationship with money or who think, because if I say that, some of you are going to say, I don't have a relationship with money at all. I don't care about it. Like some of you get very about money and finances. And that could be spiritual, but that could also just be a paradigm issue from how you were like raised, whether that's you were around rich people and they were jerks, so you think all money is bad, or where you were around poor people or you lived in poverty. And so you have like certain, like coping strategies, like, oh, money's bad. I don't care about it, even though maybe you were really desperate for it. And if you don't work through that, then you end up having really messed up understandings of like abundance and wealth. And no, again, your paradigm is going to be a little bit off. So deal with that. See if there's anything that you need to just remove or add or shift, because the divine masculine has been working on that for the last 7 years. And a lot of divine feminines focus just more on kind of, again, the creation of abundance without really understanding what they're doing because we're just good at it. And now it's time to have a better, like, logical understanding of it so that we can continue to show them how to make these hard choices, to be able to see the value in something, to know what to continue to put effort into and what not to. Oh, there's so much coming through here. Oh my gosh. What are we missing? You're the only one I never get tired of loving. The final choice for them, for the divine masculine, is going to be to see what can happen with you. Why? Because if they really think about them having to put in effort in this life and which individuals, like, people, places, jobs, things, whatever it is that they have to deal with, they kind of just get exhausted. Like, it's like, none of that sounds good except you. I think you're the one thing, the one person, the one situation, the one relationship that energizes them, it makes them curious and it stimulates them. It makes them excited. It gives them the things that they know that life has been missing. And so in the end, the hard choice isn't that hard. But in the beginning, it's challenging because they don't realize that what they have and the choice that they just made is powerful. It feels so vulnerable that it feels like it's giving up their rights. The world has done a number on relationships. All right. What does the divine feminine have to prepare for that the divine masculine is going to bring or to be that maybe they weren't anticipating, or maybe they were told it was going to be otherwise? That's 2. I need 1. Oh, confidence, queen. To me, this is actually symbolizing something about the karmic energy, meaning I want you to ask yourself, what is the DM's karmic? Oh, see, this is kind of already coming through kind of easy a little bit for me. On one side, some of you know, a lot of people bring this up to me, that Mr. Lightwork's karmic was actually his car. We really didn't have issues with women and we didn't have issues with the car. And that sounds silly, but the things that kept just bringing him down and holding him back and messing him up and messing with his mind and all that was his vehicle, just constantly dealing with that. And his life kind of revolved around keeping this vehicle going. So I think what this might be telling us is you might anticipate that your person's going to come in and they're no longer going to like cars. Did we talk about this, or was this in a private reading? I shared this with somebody because I even said something about like, if your man or your woman is in a motorcycle gang and you think that their motorcycle gang is a bad influence on them, so you don't want them to be in that group anymore. But lo and behold, it was actually just them being like a jerk, and their motorcycle gang is like a Christian motorcycle gang. And so that when you when you actually like get together, you find out that it's like a Bible study with guys who like motorcycles, not really what you thought it was. So this is kind of what I'm trying to tell you right now. You think that there's going to be stuff that needs to be completely eliminated from their life. But what you don't understand is what was missing was not that they weren't giving you enough time, attention, or that they were being foolish. No, no. They did not have the confidence to do things right in that situation. So if we take it to the, what we would typically deal with karmic energy, I think what this is saying is if your divine masculine has always gone to karmic people, friends, relationships, whatever, or stuck around in a karmic situation, it's because they didn't have the confidence to leave it. The situation itself might not have really been the issue. It might have been y'all's issue. But really, their issue was not stepping up, choosing to live a life that was dull instead of seeking one that was vibrant. They were seduced by comfort, by ease, instead of being confident enough in themselves to know, I can recreate this if I like this so much in a better position, in a better situation with better people. Woo! We've got 1, 10, 1. All right, energy. Wow. And now here's the queen. We've seen 3 queens tonight. We've got Queen of Pentacles here. And I think what this says is what you need to know, Divine Feminine, is that your kingdom. Ooh, this is deep. Remember this 9 of Pentacles? Some of you are going to need to rewatch this or rewind, but your kingdom that you've already built up, that you're super abundant in, that you have, imagine the 9 of Pentacles, right? She's got the pentacles growing all around, okay? But remember, the divine masculine isn't bringing that same pentacle where it's like the exact same fruit or same tree or whatever. It's a different strain, or like an heirloom seed, or like a golden goose version of it, all right? What they are bringing has power. It's not just what you have. So what you need to know is that your kingdom, what your kingdom is known for, what you and your partner will do together, will most likely be something that is more beneficial or more enjoyable or more their thing. So what that tells you is whatever is more your thing, you're going to be abundant in that. And they can help you with that, no problem. They can, whatever they're confident enough to kind of bring to the table and join you on your adventure, cool. But what you two end up doing together that is mission work is actually going to be more related to their thing. Probably because the way they're going to approach their mission and their gifting is not going to be as deep as you're going to go. So you're going to have your thing that you're just naturally good at in your mission work. They're going to have a mission that's actually extremely challenging and kind of focused, tunnel vision type part for them. And then you two together are going to combine those two things, but it's really going to be their energy in the combined mission and their work and their focus that is your focus. That is a message that I need to remember for myself. What are we missing about this? Woo! Alleviating stress, removing some of the stalemate, kind of stagnant energy from your life, from both of you, really. And I think this is about helping both of you leave behind that energy of being stuck where you've been for so long. And stuck because of this person, and then stuck because of the other person, and then stuck because your counterpart, and all the stuckness has got to go. So that you guys can be together and experience, all these wonderful reasons of just being able to connect. But not until you can come together and actually be able to work together. If you're supposed to do something as a team, but you can't work together, divine has work to be done yet on both of you as individuals and together. So you've got to be preparing for this, divine feminine. Okay. Woo! Now, how crazy is this? We've now seen all 4 queens. The Queen of Swords just wanted to come out. Does anybody know what that means? And then Judgment. Clear boundaries. Queen of Swords and then Judgment. 21 pointing me here. I can't stop thinking about you no matter what I do. I want you. It's weird. What is the boundary? The boundary with the karmic. What am I missing? So I think what this is saying, divine feminine, is that we have to be very careful. Yeah, obsessive. We have to be very careful about the relation. Oh my gosh. This is like kind of hard to explain. But long story short, when I watch people on YouTube, I develop what's called a parasocial relationship with them, where I know them really well. I know their quirks, everything they reveal about themselves on the internet. I know it because I've been watching them. I really love them. I soak it all up, right? So I feel like they're my friend. I mean, I spend a lot of time with them, especially on YouTube where I could download, or not download, but I can kind of watch all their videos back to back to back. I could spend 8 hours with some of my favorite YouTubers because they have so much content. But I don't know them. They're not my friend. In the same way, when you're watching tarot and you're thinking about this person, you are creating a relationship dynamic with these cards, and you might not know it, which is very dangerous. At least be aware of what you're doing. But all the cards and all the readers and all that, we are all just channeling. We're the vessel, but the object of your affection is your divine counterpart. And you've got to be very careful about allowing the thinking, the thoughts, all the different scenarios that we're, as readers, we're saying, it could be this, it could be this. I'm checking this energy out. And if you're not in, taking what resonates and in your discernment, you could get overwhelmed. There could be all this information. And now when you get with your person, you have developed a parasocial relationship with them where maybe you haven't seen them in 15 years and you've been watching 3 years worth of tarot, a few days a week. You watch a few videos here and there, and you now believe that the person is who you see. And you know what? What if every video you watched was right? And what you were looking at was true, but the way that you were taking it was not with a real person. It was with the idea or the spirit of that person. So when you get into a relationship with them, you've got all kinds of things to talk about. You've got bones to pick with them that you've been kind of almost ruminating on or rehearsing for years. You have an image of this person that you have to get rid of. And guess what? The divine masculine has to do the same thing with us because they have pedestalized a lot of us. They have made us into idols for them, and they have made it seem like we were so out of their league and so special and that they didn't deserve us. And then there's all this time of fantasy and, oh, she just makes me feel so good. Oh, he makes me feel so safe. You know, that early thing I told you early on where it was like when they want to just come around and be held by you, even if they ghost you right afterwards, it's kind of a sign that they're letting the wall crumble down. Oh, the boundaries. But the problem is they now have this view of you as this perfect person that's just there to make them feel good. So we all have this problem. We all have this thing that we have to fight against. And your goal is going to be to make sure that this eclipse energy is helping you clear that stuff away. If you haven't taken the time to do your research and see what resonates with you about this eclipse, take the time to go and look at these videos because the next couple weeks are going to be so amazing, but also just kind of insane. Like, oh my gosh, there's so much happening. And if you're listening to a reading here and a reading there, and you're kind of getting information through reading through the divine masculine lens, you might be missing information about the eclipse itself. So take some time on Monday, or I think it might be Monday for some of you already, where this first one's coming in, but make sure you're looking up that April 8th eclipse, okay? There's a lot that's happening. All right. Divine Feminine, what do you need to know right now about the next 2 weeks? And if you see this, whenever the next 2 weeks is for you, you might be on a different wave. I'm getting 2 cards again. Oh, I just saw deception. What you need to know is do not allow yourself to be burdened by the barrenness of separation. Lots of tens and lots of ones. If you haven't noticed, we've got 3 tens on the board right now. This completion is bringing about a new beginning, not just an ending. Do not allow yourself to get wrapped up in the fear, okay? Now, what do you need to know about this? Hold on, let me find my white card for this. 9 of Swords, nightmares. I think this is trying to tell you something. This is a time where, because of the breakthrough, because there's a lot of energy coming through portals and all kinds of stuff happening, and it's just super intense, this is a time where it's very easy to spiral, to lose yourself, to get confused. But I think what they want you to know is that if you do that, then you're going to have the same problems your divine masculine has. You're going to be that self-fulfilling prophecy as well. But if you say, I know that I'm supposed to be focusing on the adventure, I'm supposed to be following my heart, I'm supposed to be standing in positivity and confidence and all the things that I've been wanting to see in my divine masculine, then you'll be able to move beyond the burden of separation, the confusion of how things have been. Okay, divine feminine, where can you stop chaos from taking over your life? Woo! Okay. Justice, the Empress, and the Knight of Swords. Action, beauty, and fairness. Do what you need to do it in the right time, and make sure that you're being fair and equitable. But all right, let's get 1 card. That's 2. How can you fight off this chaos of this season? 5 of Pentacles. I think this says address your fears. Get really clear about what is able to trigger you in the first place, what is able to throw you off. If I said to you here, don't allow yourself to get burdened by the barrenness, by the emptiness, by the lack of change and momentum in your divine journey thus far, that separation is that what dark and lonely place. I think this is telling you, do not allow your fears about reunion or, the lack thereof, or divine masculine ascension or the lack thereof. Don't allow those fears to have you mourning something that you're supposed to be celebrating. And that's huge. That is huge. Why is that so important? Because you may end up defending yourself from energy that is meant to come in and be a blessing to you. Energy that is meant to help you heal. Energy that is going to change everything. And finally, how can you move into this energy of teamwork? What do you need to know? Woo! You were not the only one fighting off the karmic deceptions. You are not the only one who has felt like you were in a place you did not belong. And if you can start to think about what separation has been like for your divine masculine, truly, like having that empathy. And many of you, when I say to you, now be real, how do you really think they feel being so far apart from you? How do you really think they feel having to depend on these karmic people or nobody, because they have no one instead of being with you? And it's so easy in that moment for us as divine feminines to go, oh yeah, it has to suck without me. And probably way worse for them because they don't know all this stuff. But in the moment, it's not easy to think about that. So try to figure out how to keep that in your back pocket. That you've been fighting off stuff that had nothing to do with your divine masculine for these last 7 years. For the last 7 years, you've been on your own journey. You've been dealing with your own stuff. And beyond the spiritual stuff, you've still had life. And you know what I mean? Now, if you know that's true for you, what do you think has been going on for them? And how do you think not having you around has impacted their ability to just smile? All right, and finally, I want to get a channeled message from this divine masculine for this eclipse season. Let me get it quick. Aw, recognition. Aw, recognition, separation. And when I'm with you, I feel complete. All right, I just wanted to do one more. All right, divine masculine. What are you trying to say tonight? Memories. What do you remember? Divine masculine remembers Oh, divine intervention. Divine masculine remembers the divine intervention of the divine feminine stepping into their life. You were a wish. Oh, the world. You were a wish. You were a wish, and this season is now complete, meaning you no longer have to be the object of affection. Instead, you can actually be someone they get to be with. That you guys could go and you could be a part of the same world together. This is something that they always knew was possible, but they didn't know it would actually happen. They're reminiscing about when they first met you and what it did and how it changed things and how they're feeling right now. There's the queen on top of a queen, on top of the other queen. Queen of Swords. They feel a blockage up. I think the divine masculine thinks you're blocking them out. Queen again, Queen of Cups. All these queens. Why? Seven of Cups. Because it's like they feel like, what is this? Homecoming, Four of Wands. They feel like you're procrastinating because they're procrastinating. Like spite procrastination. Is there anything that, because of frustration with them, that you've kind of been like, no, you know what, fine. I'll handle that when they handle, or I'll handle that when we're together, or I'll handle that when. There's something coming through about this. What am I missing about this? Again, or Four of Wands again. It's like the boundary is stopping them. And it's a boundary that's always been there. That's making me think about that Four of Swords we saw, divine feminine. I think your divine masculine senses that there is something in you that you haven't healed from, like, before you were ever with them. Maybe a relationship issue, maybe like I'm thinking like family, like a parent or a sibling did something that hurts you, and then divine masculine now does that thing or something. Like, there's something here that says there's a boundary down, and it might not even actually be because of them. And it might be a part of the reason why they thought it was okay to walk away for a little while. Oy vey. What is it? What are you talking about? This Four of Wands, I don't know if y'all thought I just kept trying to flip it out or something. No, it wants to come out. They want to come. They want it to happen. Look, four homecoming and union, Two of Cups. They have so many regrets about not making this happen sooner. They're 1 + 4 is 5. This is the issue. You had a boundary up. If I asked you this, what was the reason you couldn't be together on your side when you first met? So some of you are going to be like, well, Doug, Grace, I was in a relationship. I was married. We lived in another place and I didn't do long distance. So I kind of immediately did put that wall up, but then I put it down, so it shouldn't matter. For some reason, they're still thinking about that. I don't know what it is. It's funny because mine just came to my mind of why Mr. Lightwork and why I assumed we couldn't be together. They regret that. That's all they can think about right now. I think with this restoration, this Phoenix rising energy that's coming through for them, which is actually right here again, I think. If it's somewhere in here, right? I think. But I think that it's coming through and it's kind of taking them back. It's like when you respawn in a video game and it takes you back to the last checkpoint. They're thinking back. They're checking in on where things are now by reflecting on where things were, and for some reason that is so strong in their mind. So what do you regret the most? That's 2. What do you regret right now? Whoa. 7 of Pentacles. I crave your kind soul, your clear mind, and your perfect body. The 7 of Pentacles harvest tells me that they're reaping what they're sowing. Chaos, loneliness, and this empty harvest. There's nothing there. You are something different. I love your mind. Beauty, Empress. They know what they've lost. Regretting the seeds that they've sown. And I told you guys the Ace of Pentacles. What is the Ace? What is this key? What do you want to bring the divine feminine? What are you just not even aware of? Maybe can you even answer that? the key to the Empress, the key to your heart, the key to your femininity, the team, the deception. There's something important coming through. It's talking about the season we used to be in and shifting into the new season. This is death and renewal, but this is also pointing me to this 4 energy again. For some reason, the Empress with the cards beneath, it's 1 and 0. It's the Empress and the Emperor and the Fool is what I'm getting here. Defeating what? Oh, wow. They realize now they had such bad and poor intentions. They were deceiving themselves that what they wanted most was money. And I think the key is loving you. It sounds so corny as I say it, but I think that's the problem with us nowadays is like, we want love and softness and we crave all that, but then to hear it is kind of cringy. Like, what is wrong with us, you know? But that's what I get. The key is realizing that it's the light that they bring, who they help you to become. And I think it's very interesting that you've got this like a light energy here, but then you've got this, there's something about it that's purified. Ah, man, this is so tough. There's so much energy coming through. I have to kind of close this out because I'm getting like, okay. Is there anything else you just want to say right now? Anything else we need to know as you're experiencing these same fated events, as you're dealing with the same energy for the next 2 weeks? Again, when I'm with you, I feel complete. You are something different. I don't think we're the only ones dealing with this fear. And I think this might be telling us that we need to make sure that in our dreams, even that we are healing, that if you can lucid dream, or if there's moments in your dream where you can try, like if you're aware of it, try to steer your dreams in a way towards healing where you are, if your DM is there, or if there's someone from their life is there, where you're able to communicate with them. I don't think our dreams right now are just dreams. I think that this portal is open. I think there's a lot happening. If you're sleeping a lot and you're still tired, don't be surprised. If you can't sleep at all, it's because your body knows you're not going to get any sleep in there anyways. And maybe there's some stuff you need to be grounding in while you're here. There's something going on. And I think it just says, make sure that the unseen things are getting a little bit more of your attention right now. One more message, Divine Masculine. What do you need to say? Whoa. I know that you have other options. I love that you're still choosing us. Wow. Divine Feminine, this feels like the Divine Masculine. Remember, they had the divine intervention back here. They had this plan of what they wanted to do in the world, and they've reached this point, but they know that they have been off your timeline and your plan for a long time. They've left you cold. They've left you high and dry. And I think that there's a recognition within them that you are so powerful, you could manifest a whole new timeline for yourself. And yet you still choose to hold it down for them. Yeah, there's the pretty hermit. There she is again. You choose to find solitude, to seek solitude, and you choose not to see it as the loneliness that it can be sometimes when you're floating out in space, giving someone else the time that they need to get it all together. I like that we have 9 of Swords and the Hermit here as our final 2 cards. I think this tells us something really important, that it's really in the way that you look at it and what you do with the energy. You're right there, 9-9, you're right there on the edge of something important, something huge. But if you choose to allow these energies to bring you down, they will. This is a very important time in your life, and I need you to show up for you, But if you can't show up for you, make sure you're showing up for you for your DM, because this is a make or break season for all of us. Many of us don't have to necessarily worry about that. I am not worried about this energy. I am harnessing it. I'm in my power. There are many of you who are there too. But if you're not, and you're feeling the chaos I want you to seek higher ground, okay? I want you to recognize that if you are truly a divine counterpart, a twin flame, I hate to say this to you, but you are so beyond powerful that a lot of the stuff, at least spiritually speaking, that happens to you is because you let it. Physically, I can't say that is true. I don't like when people talk about that in the physical stuff. But spiritually speaking, whenever someone comes to me and they say they believe they're divine feminine, that they are truly awakened and all these things, but they're also being impacted by black magic, whether or not it exists and we want to have that argument, what I need to say to you is you are impenetrable. You are pure light. Nothing can touch you. So what are you talking about? And I want to make it very clear that this energy is not meant to drag you down. It is not meant to hurt you. And if you know you've been doing the work, then there is nothing for you to worry about. In fact, worrying is just a waste of this energy. Your divine masculine is using it to look back, to figure things out, to prepare so that they can launch forward when the energy presents itself. And honey, there is about to be a spiraling up, okay? And it's going to be starting the 25th of March. Oh my gosh. Did I write down the dates this time? Because I tried to tell you guys the other day and I got confused. Oh man. Okay. I believe it's the 25th of March. Then we have April 1st. And so it's like 25th of March, we start the circle. April 1st, we're going to pivot a little bit now. And then April 5th, 8th. I don't think there is anything between. April 8th, we have another pivot, so we're spiraling again. And then we have the 11th. And then I think that's where there's a few days later, the 13th, 14th, and then the 22nd. And you will start to see this. There's this Fibonacci that's been playing out in my head every time I see those dates. And I'm telling you, it start right now. If you're catching this energy at a later date, listen to it anyways. There's something about this, but you're supposed to know right now. You might be on a later wave where it's crashing in right behind us, or where we're all flowing in the water like this, and then someone comes from back here and they meet us. If you've ever seen that in the ocean before, where there's waves just flowing, and then somehow a wave from all the way back here just kind of overtakes all of them and they all reach the shore at the same time. That is how these waves work. You do not have to be worried about where you are in the grand scheme. If you are truly a divine counterpart, if you are truly a divine being, you are blessed. And this will be the end of one of the hardest cycles and seasons of your life, and the beginning of hopefully one of many of the most beautiful cycles in your life. There's a lot of good stuff to come, but this one's going to be like, it's just going to feel so good because the last one felt so damn bad. So please be ready to embrace it. If you're interested in learning about some of the things that I've been trying to teach for the last few years, I highly recommend the New Wave Prophecy. I don't think that there's anything else that I have that is as comprehensive as this information. I have recently completed the downloads, I guess you can call it, completed the downloads for the Twin Flame series. So if you've already listened to the entire catalog, I do have a Twin Flame series that's going to be 6 videos that I have put on pre-order. And as you guys know, whenever I do pre-order, I do a discount just because you're having to wait for it. So if you were interested in the full catalog, get that. It's on sale this month. But if you were, and that'll give you the previous videos that are available, and then you'll just have to wait for that last series. Okay, so you'll have some things to watch until the other part is completed. But if you've already seen all that, or you've been waiting for the Twin Flame information to come out, because several of you have emailed me in the last few months about it, I have set it up for pre-order, so you can go ahead and get that going. Did I put it in? I think I put it in, but I'll do it again. There's that. Otherwise, guys, there's so much stuff that I have available on my website, but I know sometimes people kind of tune out at this point. So check it out, or I don't even know if you're here, but I just posted the relationship styles video. If you've been curious about the partner spectrum and the divine feminine and divine masculine spectrum for yourself, if you've taken the reunion journey toolkit assessments, but you weren't really sure what to do with the information because you're still trying to figure out, well, why is it like this though? The relationship styles video that I just pointed to y'all, it is not part of the New Wave Prophecy, but it is one of the best things that I've produced for the Twin Flame Collective. The New Wave Prophecy is more for higher level beings and Twin Flames who are aware of their gifting, or that they're supposed to have a gifting and supposed to have a purpose, and who know that them and their divine partner are meant to work together. The New Wave Prophecy information is so far beyond what I put here. It's why I can't post it on this channel. But the relationship spectrum or the relationship styles video is like, it's on another level. I'm trying to think if there's anything I can show you, but I can't because my phone's here. So, but again, if you've ever wondered how to get to blissful union, or how, like, if you are in union energy, but they're in denial energy, where does that put you? I actually created a table where it all crisscrosses and you can actually see the visuals of what it takes to be in union. I went over what those relationships look like. I really, really recommend it, but I think only 2 or 3 people have ever seen it. So there's certain things that I think that everyone should see in the Twin Flame Collective, and I can't get it out there. I don't know what to do because I don't want to bombard people and 2 seconds in my video be like, buy this thing. But you guys, if you are trying to figure this journey out and you're confused, the stuff that I create is not just a reading or something where I'm pulling cards and like getting a message from spirit. I'm doing extensive research. I'm gathering data. How do you think I came up with this? You know what I mean? So have you found twin flames because you were searching for truth, you were searching for information? That's how I found it too, but I'm not the type of person to just get the information for myself and then be done. I was the girl at the job where whenever I found an easier way to do something, I made myself a little thing for it and I gave it to my team. And then when we started doing really well, they would disseminate that across the company because I'd found something that streamlined some. I am all about solutions and figuring stuff out. And it's just so important for us to start to understand this stuff beyond a reading here and a reading there. So I hope these readings are helping you. I hope tonight's reading kind of gave you some insight into how the divine masculine is feeling, good and bad, right? And even in spite of all the chaos, that they just feel so sure about you and what comes next. But beyond that, I hope that you can start to understand what you've been dealing with for these past few years on your side. Their energy is so important, but what about you? What about all this stuff that you're understanding? So, I can't say it enough again. Boom. There's that. And is there anything else I'm supposed to say? Look, I'm just going to put these links here. Oh, you know what I should do? So I actually took something off of my website, but not all the way. So somebody just asked, can I go over the stuff on the website and show you where to find certain things? I'll do that for a couple things now, but I'm not going to do the whole website. I've thought about doing a walkthrough before, but my website is thefierygrace.com. It looks like this when you get there. Services has everything. Courses. I have my coaching courses here. I have the reunion journey toolkit, which is so important. Just there's so many resources here with these reunion assessments. Mr. Lightwork has a course, a week-long course about reunion, and it's a divine masculine focused course. It's incredible. And then I also have business courses. I'm an MBA, you guys. I'm really passionate about people in the spiritual community getting out of the labor force if that's not where they're supposed to be. If you're supposed to be there, go ahead, handle your business, be the entrepreneur that you already are. But many of us are supposed to exist outside of systems, outside of typical, and a lot of us don't know how. So I created stuff to do that. Courses that cost $50 instead of $5,000 or $10,000. So again, I don't push that stuff because I know that you're more passionate about divine masculine, but I do have it. And then on my website, services, here's where you can have a tarot reading with me on the phone. The New Wave Prophecy stuff looks like this. Okay. I have a special every month. I change it up a little bit. I think I told you guys just now I put a flash sale. You can't find the link that I just put in the chat. You can't find that any other place because I took it off of my website. You can only get it directly through that link. All right. This is where you could just do a phone call. So without tarot. If you want a reading from me, like a personal reading, like a recorded reading, that's what that is. Again, there's the Reunion Journey Toolkit. Coaching course. If you've ever wanted like a contract reading from me or a love letter, a birth chart analysis, that's in my specialty reads. If you've ever wanted to work with Mr. Lightwork and me, this is where you can find our stuff. There's actually something I don't usually tell people, but I guess if there's anybody here right now, I have multiple specials every month. I only put this main special on the top, but if you click the drop down menu, you'll see there's other specials there. But yeah, my website is pretty simple, but I know it looks like a lot. And then the last thing I will show you that a lot of people don't know about is these exclusives. Exclusives are videos, mostly readings, almost all readings that I've recorded that I could not share with the collective. A lot of them have very specific reunion-based information, and I admit, I have not been doing a good job of bringing them up. So I guess now is as good a time as any. I mean, especially like the love letters and stuff. I've got love letters dating back, love letters that most people have never heard because only a couple people feel called to this stuff, you guys. So I make them because I know that, okay, when I first started my ministry, it was small enough where I could tell immediately whose reading was who if I got a special message. So in the beginning, I used to just send people messages. I used to just send people readings to me like, this is for you. I was told this is for you. And it was so powerful. And then my ministry got so big and I had so many clients that I started kind of getting confused about energies. So I said, okay, I'm going to put these to the side. That's what these are. These are highly personal readings. So if you've ever been like, dang, Grace, I'm looking for something from you, but I can't quite put my finger on what I need, it's probably in an exclusive somewhere. I have an entire package every year of readings for the entire year. And one of them is actually, you can get those individually too. One of them is the reunion forecast. A lot of people want me to do a forecast. I do a collective forecast, but I also do a month by month, highly accurate, no less. And I have the reunion forecast for all these different years and the overviews to look back at how the energies of you guys. I don't talk about my website so much because even right now, I'm sure there's people going, look, the most important thing I think anybody should know on my website, honestly, I guess it's probably on my first page right here. Most important thing, tarot session for over the phone call, the New Wave Prophecy information, all of the links are here. And if you want to know what they're about, so you can see, I guess, you see how many there are? This is where I'm telling you, you got to keep up. I'm not trying to make this many. I stopped actually. It's been like, it was at 13 videos for like 2 months. There's nothing that came through. And then all of a sudden I got this huge like whoosh wave a couple weeks ago to the point it made me sick when it came in. Like literally like my stomach felt weird. And then I just had to go start like writing down numbers and names and dates, and it was wild. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is finally coming through. And I thought it was just going to be one video I did about twin flames and the New Wave Prophecy. I wasn't going to teach a lot about the twin flames, but there's like a whole series now coming through. So look, I don't know how to get out of here. Get out of here. So the cool thing is I have everything listed. So you can actually read about what the teachings are about here, or you just scroll all the way down to the bottom and you can see there's teachings. There's the astrology series, which I think all twin flames should see. This will help you understand what energies have been impacting your life beyond your own birth chart and your divine masculine's birth chart. Did you know we have a birth chart as twin flames? Did you know our wave's birthday is in 1986? Did you know that you have an activation date in October of 1986? I wasn't even born yet. It's a whole thing. And then again, I have my new twin flame series that's going to be coming out. So this is on pre-order. This is not available just yet. And all of that is in the drop down. And then I also created it where if you wanted to buy the teachings all together, or the astrology series all together, or the twin flame series all together, that's now in the drop down menu. So you'll see everything. I hope that was good. I don't know. That's not necessarily the best walkthrough I could do, but hopefully that helps people. I think that's everything. Yeah? There's that. Okay. And then the flash sale. Boom. All right. There we go. All right. That's everything. Those are all the links. I'm going to get going. This video is probably super long. I hope that the information that we put out in the next couple weeks soothes your soul and gives you a sense of peace and purpose. The next 2 weeks are going to be life-changing. And I really hope that those of you who embrace this, embrace that it will be life-changing in a beautiful, beautiful way, okay? All right, I love you guys. If you made it all the way to the end, did they have like a genie lamp? Did they have like a genie lamp in the... They probably don't have a genie lamp. I will say, put your wish in emojis. Leave like a sentence that you make out of emojis of what your wish is. So yeah, make a wish in the comment section made of emojis. And that's it for real now. I love you. I'll talk to you later. Peace. Oh man, how do I take this phone down?